Welcome to the Instagram forecast for 2025. I am very happy and very excited that you are watching this right now because this is going to help you set yourself up for success on Instagram in 2025. So I prepared a nice presentation for you with some slides. So let me just share it with you. There we go. So again, welcome to the Instagram forecast for 2025, a session with yours truly, Eve Longfield. Inside today's session, we will discuss what you should leave behind in 2024. There are some things that worked great in 2024. There are things that were new in 2024, but there are definitely also some things that should be left in 2024. And after this session, you know exactly what you should not be bringing to 2025. We'll also talk about what continues to work in 2025, because there are some things that worked in 2024 that we will definitely be seeing in 2025 as well. And I'll also talk about what we can expect in 2025. Maybe there are going to be some new things. You're going to find it all out in this session. So when I was creating my list of the Instagram 2025 forecast, I ended up with a massive list of things. I think I had around about 20 things written down, but it's a little bit much to cover all of that in one session. So I narrowed it down to the 9 most important, the 9 most significant things that we are going to see in 2025. So let's get started. But before we dive in, I just quickly wanted to introduce or reintroduce myself. My name is Eve. I'm an Instagram growth specialist, and I've grown not one, but 2 accounts to over 192 and 228,000 followers. Crazy. So Eve Longfield is my personal brand. It's probably the account that you found me under. And I've grown this account to 192,000 followers. Whereas on the other hand, Sydney Guide is my content creation account, my influencer account. I'm not the face of the account, Sydney is, and I've grown that account to 228,000 followers. Absolutely insane. The reason why I think it's important to tell you this is because Eve Longfield is a business and Sydney Guide is a content creation account. You can rest assured that I know about all aspects of growing on Instagram. All of them, because I've been there, I've done that all myself. I have 12 years of online marketing experience. I've worked in email marketing, social media marketing. I've worked for companies such as Philips, also the Dutch charity lotteries. So there's a lot of experience behind my belt, which has resulted in me being the Instagram coach that I am these days. I've also helped hundreds of clients experience incredible growth too. And this is probably my favorite part of being an Instagram coach, is being able to help others. Now, a little side note, you can rest assured that whatever I tell you, whatever you learn from me is always fact-checked by Instagram or with Instagram, because I am part of Instagram's exclusive creator program. This is an invite-only program where Instagram themselves, like a representative from Meta, gives me and another small group of creators live webinars, live masterclasses on the best practices on Instagram. And every week we cover a new topic. So you can rest assured that everything that I teach you is either something I learned from them or something that I fact-checked with them. Now, a little bit of personal info about me. I love coffee. I love my boys. I love Sydney. I love the beach. I love being a business owner. And of course, I love Instagram and Reels. And hasn't gone unnoticed by Instagram because, as you can see here in this photo, I am sitting next to a giant Instagram logo. This photo was actually taken at Instagram's head office here in Sydney, where I got invited to last August to attend the launch of their new podcast. So I'm very much into the actual world of Instagram. It was very, very special to be able to go to the head office there and to be able to see, yeah, actually Instagram from the inside. I mean, how often do you get the chance and to experience this? So that was absolutely, absolutely great and an experience that I won't forget. But enough about me. Let's dive into the 9 things that I am forecasting for 2025 on Instagram. Number 1 is the end of B-roll. And I think, pretty sure that this might come to a little bit of a shock to a lot of you. Now, before I dive into why I think it will be the end of B-roll, let's just quickly, and I'm going to grab Google for this, let's just quickly discuss or talk about what B-roll actually is. So B-roll is a term that has been around for decades. It's nothing new, but the way that we are using it on Instagram is different to what B-roll actually originally is. So originally, B-roll is supplemental footage that is used in a film or video to support the main action, A-roll. It's used to add context, create visual interest, and enhance the storytelling experience. So, for example, when you are watching a movie and you see two characters talk to each other, and then you see a character like grabbing a glass, like a shot, like a close-up of the glass. That's B-roll. Or when you're watching a show and they switch scenes, and first you see like a busy street. That's B-roll. So B-roll is something that has been around for ages, but we took it over to Instagram and we kind of created our own version of it. Now, on Instagram, B-roll are short video clips that have nothing to do with the message of your reel. So, for example, you will see an Instagram coach sitting at a beautiful beach, sipping on a cocktail. And her reel says, here are five things you should do on Instagram stories. So she's sitting on a beach, sipping on a cocktail, but talking about Instagram stories. So that's an example of B-roll. Like the two are completely unrelated. What we also see a lot these days is stock footage B-roll. So these are videos that you and I, that everyone can just download from the internet and can just use. Sometimes you pay for them, sometimes you don't, but they have all been created by one creator. We can buy them or download them for free and then use them for our own purposes. These types of B-roll are where you see like an aesthetically cup of coffee, like someone puts a cup of coffee down, or you see someone like walking down the street, or just these very basic videos, and then someone just adds a bit of text over that, bit of text that says something like, whatever their niche is. So the problem that I have with this type of content is that A, it's boring, and B, it doesn't relate to the video. And this is something that we'll be talking about more in this session. It's not that easy anymore to grow on Instagram. It's not that easy anymore to grab people's attention. It's not that easy anymore to keep people's attention, to keep them watching. B-roll is so boring that people just keep scrolling. And next to that, people have seen that same old trick over and over again. We need more. Our videos need more. So I am predicting the end of B-roll. The only B-roll that I would still allow, or that I think is still going to work well, is B-roll that has something to do with your video. So for example, if you are an Instagram coach and you film yourself, like doing something on your phone, that could work. Or if you are a fitness coach or a fitness influencer and you have like a motivational quote on your reel, but in the background you see B-roll of yourself, doing weightlifting, that could work as well. Or if you are a nutrition coach or, a chef content creator and you give your audience a few tips and you see yourself cooking as B-roll in the background, that could work as well. The message that I hope that you take away from this is that B-roll needs to relate to you and your niche. So your video needs to relate to you, your niche, your message of the video in some way. Then it's okay to still do B-roll, but please, 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 please don't just do B-roll. Don't make every single reel a B-roll reel, because it gets boring. People will get tired of the same old trick, and we need to diversify our content. That's another thing, a big, big tip for 2025. Diversify your content. Diversify your reels. Don't always keep doing the same old trick, because A, it's not going to work forever, and B, people are getting tired of it. So that's my first prediction, the end of B-roll. Number two, the thing that we were going to be seeing in 2025 is an increase in carousels. So for a long, 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 long time, reels were the way to go. I actually only exclusively posted reels for about a year and a half, like 600 posts. I already had 600 feed posts on my Instagram. They were all reels. But recently I started posting carousels as well. Now, the big reason for this, the reason why I only posted reels, was because reels have the best reach. Reels have the best reach. There's the separate Reels tab on Instagram, the tab where you just scroll through Reels. That makes it very, very unique. That makes Reels very, very unique. And that makes it that Reels get shown to non-followers a lot, because a lot of people use Instagram solely for Reels and solely for scrolling on the Reels tab. But Instagram recently put through an update where carousels are now also eligible to show up on the Reels tab. So when you're scrolling for Reels, you won't just see Reels, you'll also see carousels there, which means that carousels now can also be put in front of a lot of new faces, a lot of new people. But, this is very important. Carousels will only show up in the Reels tab if they have music added to them. So make sure that you always add a trending audio to your carousels. And this also goes for your static photo posts. Always add music to them, because then they are eligible to show up on the Reels tab, which can drastically increase your reach. Carousels are easier to create than Reels. Now that I create them myself, its effect to carousel is much, much quicker, much, much easier to do. So more people will be posting carousels now. Next to that, Instagram has made creating carousels very, very easy. Back in the days, you had to go into Canva or another app to create like nice looking carousels. But Instagram has introduced a carousel editor that you can use to edit your carousels in Instagram. And it doesn't have to look incredibly aesthetically pleasing and great and beautiful and pro. A lot of people now these days, they can just take a photo of themselves, place some text over it, and do the same like for the whole carousel. Also, carousels can now be 20 slides, which is a lot. Make sure that your carousels are not a slide longer than they need to be. Just with Reels, make sure that your Reels are not a second longer than they need to be. But yeah, we're definitely going to see an increase in carousels. So if you're not posting them yet, now is a great time to start experimenting with them. We need to stop chasing a large following, and we need to stop chasing, and we need to, number three, we need to stop chasing a large following, and we need to stop chasing virality. And I know, I get it. You might be dreaming of a big following, and you might be, waiting for the day that you finally go viral. But please take it from me, that's not important. It's not important anymore at all, at all. The reason why I'm saying this is because A, Instagram has changed. It was a lot easier a few years ago to just post a reel, go massively viral, gain thousands of followers overnight, and then repeat that same trick over and over and over again. A few years ago, actually up until mid this year, that was still very, very possible, and it wasn't that hard. And a lot of people still grew exponentially overnight. These days, not so much. And there are a few reasons for this. The first reason is that more and more content gets posted every single day. So there's simply more competition on Instagram. Now, the second reason is that people are curating their following lists more and more, and also more than ever. People are unfollowing a lot of people they don't resonate with anymore. And people also don't hit that follow button as easily anymore. You may have probably also noticed it, that in the start of the year you were growing a little bit faster, that you're growing slower now. You have probably also noticed that when you have a viral reel, or if a reel gets more views than usual, you're not really gaining that many followers. That's all a result of this. So instead of, trying to chase the big numbers, and instead of trying to go viral, we should focus on the right following and on the right people who see our reels. And this actually brings me to my next point. We should go micro instead of macro. So if you haven't already, please, for the love of God, niche down, like you've heard me and all the other Instagram coaches say this for years now. Niche down, niche down, niche down. But it's going to be more important than ever. And actually, I'm here to take it one step further. It's not enough to just niche down anymore. It's not enough anymore to say like, okay, well, I'm focusing on moms who are 40. Or no, my ideal follower, they are people who are in their 20s who want to get fit in the gym. That's not niching down. That's not enough anymore. It might be, like a year ago or 2 years ago, perfect. Not anymore. It's not going to work anymore. We have to go super micro, because There is so much noise out there on Instagram. There are so many people saying the exact same thing these days. And I will never say that your niche is saturated. I will never say that Instagram is saturated because it isn't. But if you keep saying the same thing that all these fitness coaches are saying, if you keep saying same thing that all these nutrition coaches are saying, if you keep saying the same thing that all these travel bloggers are saying, you're not going to stand out. Because if you say the same thing, if you're like, oh, here are 5 tips if you want to travel to Paris. Oh, here are 4 things you shouldn't eat if you want to lose weight. Here are 3 things you have to do in the gym if you want to get strong biceps, whatever. We've heard it a million times before. People who are interested in that kind of content heard it a million times before. So we have to be more specific. We have to go more micro. And I totally realize that that's much easier said than done, because how do you do that? Well, that's exactly why I created the Perfect Fit Follower Framework, my latest and most signature course to date, in which I really help you narrow down who your perfect fit follower is. But not just that, obviously, I'll also teach you how you can actually reach them with your content. Because like I just said, if you say like, oh, visit these 5 spots in Paris, or if you say, don't make these 3 mistakes when it comes to blah, blah, we've seen it. It needs to be more specific. So how you do that, how you can be more specific, and how you can actually grab someone's attention, because, a strong hook and shares, we all want them, but we only grab someone's attention when it matters to them. You don't grab someone's attention saying like, oh, unpopular opinion, but you shouldn't eat keto. It's too broad. You need to know how your perfect fit follower thinks, what matters to them, what they say, how they speak. And inside the perfect fit follower framework, I teach you exactly how to do that. I teach you exactly how to create content for your perfect fit follower. You'll never have to worry again, like, oh, how do I niche down? Or I don't want to niche down like after perfect fit follower. Trust me, you're going to want to niche down hard, and you're going to know exactly how. Can't stress this enough. If you are not zooming in, on your content and zooming in on your followers, then 2025 is not going to be your Instagram year. And I'm always, everything I say is from a place of love, because I've seen this happen to my clients. I've seen this happen to my own accounts, that if you're not specific, you're not gaining followers. And the moment I changed this in my own account was the moment that I started gaining more new followers. Another good example is a client of mine. Her name is One Sydney Mom, if you want to look her up on Instagram. She took one of my courses in September, started posting in September. And last week she hit 10K. And that is insane for this day and age, because growing is not that easy anymore. She only posted 50 times, 50 reels, and she already hit 10,000 followers. And the secret, which is not a secret at all, is that she is extremely specific in who her content is for. Extremely specific. So do yourself a favor. Go micro instead of macro. Go specific instead of wide. Go deep instead of general, and really hone in, like zoom in on that perfect fit follower. If you're interested in joining the Perfect Fit Follower Framework, you can stay until the end of this class, and I will give you an offer that you are not going to want to refuse. So number five, this is going to be a big one: originality and personality for the win. No more faceless stock accounts. So I'm not sure if you have seen the trend where faceless digital marketing is a thing. Nothing wrong with faceless accounts. First of all, Sydney Guide is a faceless account, right? Sydney Guide, my other account, is a faceless account. Never show my face. But that's fine, because I'm not the star of the show. I'm not the person like telling people things about Sydney. Sydney is the star of the show on that account. But if you want to start a personal brand, or if you want to sell something online, if you want to, if it's about you, if it's you offering services, got to show your face. Because people, it's going to be, first of all, it's going to be super hard for people to trust you if you don't show your face. Plus, like I just said, there is so much noise on Instagram. There is so much noise on Instagram. It's so hard to reach people these days. So if you're not even showing your face, then how are you going to stand out? And I know there are very good reasons why people don't want to show their faces. That's all good. But if you want to make it on Instagram 2025, unless, something else is the star of your account, like your dog or whatever, if you want to start a personal brand, you're going to have to show your face. And I know it's scary, especially to put yourself out there because the internet can be a mean and cruel place, but I made it. Look, I'm trying to look at you right now. I can't even look straight. My eyes don't look straight. Big insecurity of mine for a long, long while in my life. I overcame it, and now I'm just showing myself online. Here I am. Take it or leave it. If you don't like me, you don't have to follow me. It's that simple. If you're going to leave a hateful comment, I'm going to block you. Bye-bye. You're probably more miserable than I am. So originality and personality for the win. Now, next to that, with originality, I also mean your reels, your content. Stop doing the same old thing all over again, every single time. Stop doing all that B-roll. Stop doing the exact same thing. Try to come up with something original, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Don't worry, you don't. But take the wheel and put your own spin to it. Originality and personality for the win, 100% in 2025. Number 6, this is something that we saw happening in 2024, and that's absolutely here to stay in 2025. It's all going to be about shares still. Shares are the most important metric on Instagram, actually confirmed by Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri. He said shares are everything, and they will continue to be in 2025. So it's very important that you create content that people want to share. Now, please don't make every piece of content share worthy, right? It's really hard to create content that will always be share worthy. You can't do that. Like if you try to do that, you'll simply burn yourself out. But try to make every 1 out of 2 pieces of content share worthy, or maybe 1 out of 3 pieces of content share worthy, because shares do not only, if people share something to their stories, then you just get all those story views, like all those people who see that story see your content. But Instagram also really values what is happening in the DMs. So if you see a reel that you like and you share it to a friend, that reel ends up in their DM. That's a massive signal to Instagram, like, wow, this is good content. So shares are going to be the most important metric on Instagram. So if you want to grow, if you want to reach new people, shares are the way to go. Number 7, what we will be seeing is the increase of AI. It's already insane how much has happened in 2024. So, of course, there's ChatGPT and all the other AIs that can help you with creating content and that can help you with coming up with new things. You don't have to make life harder than it has to be these days with these AI, but also when it comes to editing, it's insane how incredible the free editing apps are, like CapCut. CapCut is probably one of my personal favorite editing apps. If you want to have a reel that just looks really, really cool, with like fast edits and effects and whatever, there are thousands of free tools in CapCut, like free templates in CapCut that you can use for those types of reels. So the excuse of saying like, oh, I'm just not good with phones or I'm not good with editing, it's not an excuse anymore because everyone can be good with it now because these apps make it so, so, so easy for us. So yeah, I think we're going to see a huge increase of AI and the way we use like the different AI on social media. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Are we eventually going to be replaced, like as editors, as content creators? Well, that's also why your personality and your originality is so important. Like your personality is gonna with AI, everyone can do the same trick, everyone can do the same reel, everyone can use the same robots to create whatever they want, but no one can recreate your personality. So, personality for the win. Show yourself on Instagram, show who you are, and find your tribe. That's also a really important reason why you have to show your personality. Find your tribe. So, number 8, and this is one, and I know, this is not the best news. I'm sorry. We already saw a massive increase on ad spend in 2024. So, more people are spending money on ads. There are more coaches. There are more businesses. More and more people are selling on Instagram every single day because more people are realizing, like, I can just build my own business on Instagram and I won't have a boss to answer to, and I can make a lot of money because, like, let's face it, there has never been a time in history, like in the history of humankind, where we could this easily become our own boss and start our own business. I started my business in 2023. Well, I started Sydney Guide before that, but I started Eve Longfield in 2023. And over the last year, I made 4 times my last salary. And that is insane. And I'm working less and I'm having 50 million times more fun because I am my own boss. All thanks to Instagram. Instagram just gives you the platform for free. I should add for free. Instagram is free. Like, how amazing is that? Instagram gives us this platform to start our own businesses, to find people from all over the world, who we can work with, who want to buy from us, who want to work with us. That is absolutely incredible. And you know it, I know it, because that's why you're here. But talk to, someone on the street, or when you go grab a coffee later, talk to someone there and tell them, like, hey, did you know that on Instagram you can build your own business and make a lot of money online? People don't know it yet, but more and more people will eventually turn to Instagram, turn to social media, and start their own online business. So there are going to be more coaches, more online businesses, more creators, more influencers, even though we've kind of seen the death of the influencer last year already. Nobody really cares about you as a person anymore, like your lifestyle as an influencer. You need to be more niche. People want to know what's in it for them. That's a different story for a different time. So more people are selling on Instagram and more people are spending money on ads. Like I said, last year, ad spend already increased, I think, with 8%, and we will only see it increase more in 2025. So again, this means that it's going to be harder to stand out. It's going to be harder to cut through the noise. It's going to be harder to get your content seen. It's going to be harder to sell. Selling is going to be harder anyway because a few years ago, it was completely new. They could buy from coaches or content creators who created their own courses. It's not a new trick anymore, and people are much more careful with what they spend their money on. So we got to get better at selling online. We got to get better at our content. We got to get better at standing out. We got to be more original. And we got to be more, there you go again, focused on who our perfect fit follower is. So don't just be a nutrition coach, be a nutrition coach for a certain person. Also with ads, I'm going to be running ads for the first time myself in 2025. So far, everything that I've done has always been organic, but ads, like you're actually an idiot if you don't do ads on Instagram. That's how I feel about it. Not to gain followers. Don't spend your money on that. It's only when you are actually selling something and you earn more than you invest on the ads, because it has to be, of course, you've got to have a positive ROI, a positive return on investment. But because there are going to be more ads on Instagram, because people are spending more money on Instagram, what do you think if you post something and if someone posts something that's an ad, what do you think will get more reach? The ad, obviously. So because there's more money behind ads, Instagram is pushing out ads more, which means there's less space for organic content. And of course, like the balance, there's still much more organic content out there on Instagram than ads. So don't worry about that. It's not like ads are taking over or Instagram is now becoming this ad platform. But for you as a content creator or for you as a business, it is something that you are, battling against those ads, because ads, no matter how bad the content, an ad is always going to win from your organic content because there's money behind it. So that means that every piece of content that you post needs to be great content. Don't just post whatever, because that's literally that you're gonna end up nowhere. Every piece of content that you post needs to be a good piece of content. It needs to be content with a certain someone in mind that solves their problem, their dreams, their desires, whatever it is. It needs to be for your perfect fit follower. Again, I'm not saying this to discourage you. I know it's a lot to hear because it's not something we want to hear. We want to hear like, oh no, 25, it's going to be all so easy and blah, 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 but it's not. Things are changing. And the only way to stay relevant on Instagram in 2025 and the only way to keep up with it is if you change as well. Now, a direct result of this is number 9. Because there are more creators and there are more businesses. More people are getting better at what they do. They are getting better at creating content. So this is just going to push up like the standards on Instagram massively. When Reels just came out, no one knew how to create Reels. I remember when I posted my first short form video on TikTok, I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't very good at it. Like if I'll show you my first TikTok, you're going to be like, what? Is that yours, Eve? Yeah. No one was born no one was born like naturally good at creating reels. But because there are more people, competition is more and more fierce. We're getting better at what we do. It's just the way, like quality goes up. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more high quality content on Instagram. So this means no more B-roll reels. B-roll is not high quality, but also no more like 7-second reels where you're like, bah, 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 read caption. Like those reels are like done. I was never a big fan of those types of reels anyway, where you just, have a hook on the reel and then say read caption. Not great at all, just frustrating. If you're going to do that, like there's no better way to get people away from your content than doing that. So your reel needs to be more. For example, try storytelling once. And storytelling is an art. It's not something that you're going to be naturally good at straight from the get-go. It's something that you have to learn. Something that you have to train. It's something that you have to do more and more and more and more often. And the better you get at it. But also start experimenting with different types of editing, different types of creative ideas, like visual hooks. They're a great idea too, not just text hooks. Like text hooks have also become boring. Text hooks don't work anymore unless they are written for your perfect fit follower. Unpopular opinion. It needs to be an unpopular opinion that your perfect fit follower cares about. Because if you just give an unpopular opinion that's not relevant to your followers, then no one is going to care. You see what I'm saying here? Your content needs to be more than just a 7-second video with a bit of text on it and a bit of text in the caption. It needs to be so much more in 2025. And again, I would love to help you with that. All right, that was a lot that we just covered. So let's just do a really quick summary. So what do I think? What did I see, in my forecast, in my vision in 2025 on Instagram? So one, we're going to see the end of B-roll as we know it. And thank God, because I'm so over these boring B-roll reels. Number two, we're going to see an increase in carousels, which is absolutely great because carousels are easier to make, easier to create. And little pro tip, get the captions of your reels and repurpose them into carousels. You're welcome. You just got yourself 100 new content ideas. Number three, we're going to see the end of chasing a large following or virality. It's not about having a large following anymore. It's not about going viral anymore. It's about reaching the right people. Number four, we have to go micro instead of macro. Stop posting general content, but really zoom in on the person you are creating your content for. If you need my help with this, the Perfect Fit Follower Framework is for you. Number five, originality and personality for the win. Can't stress it enough, but original content, Instagram is even honing down on it. If you post like a direct copy of someone else's content, they will notice it. If you post a reel with a watermark, that reel doesn't even get shown. So originality and personality for the win. Your personality and zooming in on your perfect fit follower, that's really what's going to help you stand out in 2025. And number 6, nothing new there. Shares, shares, shares. Shares are going to be everything still in 2025. And number 7, we're going to see an increase of AI, which is, I think, a great thing. And number 8, we are going to see more competition, more online businesses, more creators, more coaches. So we are going to have to work harder to stand out from the crowd. 9, that is going to result into higher quality content. So no more boring, simple 7-second reels. We're going to have to do more than that. Now, if you are interested in learning more about Instagram growth and learning more about building a strong foundation, because that's literally probably the best thing you can do for yourself moving forward to 2025, is really work on that foundation. Now, I have created a special bundle offer for you, which contains Brilliant Bio, the masterclass, the perfect fit follower framework, choosing your account type, when should you start a new account, evergreen stories, story highlights, the importance of a cohesive feed, and Eve's favorite apps and tools. So all these lessons, so Brilliant Bio, well, actually everything is a masterclass except for the Perfect Fit Follower Framework. The Perfect Fit Follower Framework is a course, a 5-hour course, in which I take you through the step-by-step process of finding your niche, identifying who your perfect fit follower is, and learning how you can create content that attracts your perfect fit follower with every single piece of content you post. So you can build a following that's highly engaged, that buys from you, that makes brands want to line up to work with you, and so you can continue to grow in 2025. Brilliant Bio, the masterclass is going to help you write a bio that's going to help make people like click follow the instant they read your bio. Your bio is just 4 lines. It's just 4 lines, but within these 4 lines, you can create trust, connection, build authority, and just make people want to follow you. If your bio is not optimized and your reels, like your content did the hard work, someone found you on your content, like, oh, this is a good reel, I like it. And they go to your profile and then your bio doesn't speak to them, your bio is not good enough, your bio is not optimized, you lose them. So don't let your hard work go to waste. In choosing your account type, I help you set up the right account for you, because there's a personal account, there's a business account, there's a creator account. Like, which one is right? What are the benefits? What are the pros? What are the cons? Should you get meta verified? And also another thing we'll discuss. When should you start a new account is a masterclass in which we discuss the reasons why you might want to consider starting a new account. Now, there are a fair few reasons or fair few instances in which I'll say start a new account straight away. Sometimes, and this can be for various reasons, which we'll go into that class, your account can end up dead. Some accounts are just not, you can't really save them anymore if you've done certain things to it. So in this masterclass, we will discuss when you should start a new account, and also if you decide to start a new account, how you should move forward with that. We'll also talk about your story highlights, because your bio, your highlights, and your feed, these 3 things are your business card. That's the 3 things that a non-follower looks at when they come to your profile and they scroll through your profile. They look at your bio first, and then your highlights, and then your feed. So it's very important that all 3 of these are optimized, that there is a strategy behind them, that you don't just pin your best performing reel, because that's not going to do anything for you. And you also don't want to create a story highlight of last Sunday when you were at the beach, because that's not going to do anything for you. Like in these classes, I'll tell you exactly what should be where on your feed, in your story highlights, and obviously in your bio, so that followers, non-followers who come to your profile and see all this, that they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to follow you. So the total value of this is $789. If you click on the link in this lesson description, I will send you through to the offer, and I'm going to make you an offer that you cannot refuse. Trust me, I'm not going to be charging you that much, even though each and every single one of these lessons and courses is worth so much more. But have a look at the link that I put in the lesson description. I'm very, very excited to welcome you into my world. Now, before you go, just look at these incredible results of people who have already taken these classes, these courses, and this masterclass. The Perfect Fit Follower is so helpful. Like, it gives people that aha moment. It gives people that understanding of why their account isn't working. Someone said, like, I'm halfway through and I have pages and pages of notes. But even, just changing your story highlights the way they should be. One of my clients got a new order just 2 hours after she changed her highlights. And she said, this is directly related to what you taught me, because that order came from her stories, from her story highlights. There was also another client of mine who was doubting to start a new account. She just didn't know, should she do it, shouldn't she do it? After watching my masterclass on when you should start a new account, she was like, yeah, I need a new account, like 100%. 100%. Then one of my other clients, she has done Brilliant Bio in the Perfect Fit Follower framework. She started growing again. She said, I was at a standstill for so, so long, but after doing these programs and after implementing what I learned, I started growing again. I didn't even include these here, but I even have reviews from clients who saw their following increase right after they did Brilliant Bio, the masterclass, and right after they changed their bio, they were already starting to gain more followers than they did for the last weeks or months. So these programs, they are gold, and I would love to welcome you on the inside. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now. So these were my 2025 Instagram predictions. Obviously, I think a little bit more is going to change than just this, but I wanted to narrow it down for you because I didn't want this to be like a hours long session. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I am extremely, extremely excited for 2025 and everything it's going to bring. Growing on Instagram is not going to be as easy anymore, but it's definitely going to be just as fun, if not even more fun in 2025. And again, one last tip. Once you know who your perfect fit follower is, once you know who your content is for, that's when creating content and growing on Instagram gets so much easier and so much more fun. Thank you so much for watching this session, and I hope to see you on the next one.